One of the struggles that I've come across when wanting to vlog with a actual camera is the lens is either too big and bulky if you're going wide, or it's not wide enough, so you're having to extend your arm all the way and it's just not comfortable for an extended period of time. Well, Sigma sent me this 10-18 millimeter lens, as you can see right here, and it just feels so good. Its form factor is pretty light. 10 millimeters is super wide. I mean, like, look how much you can see behind me. And I'm just kind of really excited to test this lens out and see how it feels. So anyways, right now we're on a trail at Franz Slocum State Park, and I'm heading back to like a row of pine trees that is really cool. And I want to take a couple photos using this lens and see how they come out. So let's go ahead and take a peaceful evening vlog walk here as I test out this 10-18 millimeter lens and see what I think about it. Now, a full review of this lens is going to be coming like 2 or 3 weeks from now, targeting more of like a landscape nature photography thing like you see more commonly on this channel. And this lens is also, it's pretty small, it's pretty lightweight, and kind of a cool opportunity if you only want to take one camera setup. This is an APS-C lens, by the way. When you're traveling, taking one camera setup using this 10-18 with a Sony APS-C camera feels like a pretty decent setup, not gonna lie. I'm making my way back to that row of pines now. I just wanted to go and show you the different focal lengths. So this is 10 millimeters, and we're gonna zoom it all the way in to 18 millimeters right now. That's 18 millimeters. That still looks pretty freaking good. Let me look at the, yeah, I like how that looks. It's more compressed. I look a little less weird. This is more of like what you would expect in most vlogging setups, but really getting out into that 10 millimeters that you see right here, especially if you're into like hiking vlogging, or like, oh, I can even see the scene being pretty cool in like a city landscape sort of deal where you're walking down the street and all these buildings are bubbling up around you because of how wide this lens is. That distortion can look pretty cool. I mean, like, how do these trees look distorted? I'd imagine it actually looks pretty cool with 10 millimeters, because what it's going to end up doing is the edges are going to look a lot more like wide and bubbly, and the center is going to be a lot more focused and like narrow. We're getting close to those pines, as you can see. I just like how this like random pine forest is just stuck in the middle of the state park. I've lived here most of my life, and I've hiked at this park so many times, and I've just found this section last week, 2 weeks ago, which is wild to me, especially because I love pine trees. But anyways, yeah, I think the 10 millimeter focal length for vlogging just feels pretty good. I know I'm keeping my arm at like a chicken wing sort of deal, so it's like resting against my body, so I'm not fully extended and going tired. I can hold this considerably longer than, let's say I was shooting it there, even 18 millimeters. We'll extend it here, and I want it to get a little bit further. I mean, here, I'll show you what I mean. I'm shooting at 18 millimeters. I'm pretty extended here, and I wouldn't be able to do that for a long time. I mean, that extension right there is just, it's good for a little bit, but for longer rants and rambles, it's just not gonna work. If you're interested in this lens, of course, gonna leave a link down in the description where you can check it out and see if it's something that you might want for your vlogging setup. But we're finally getting close, or not close, we're finally at where I wanna be. And if you can see here, let's extend this lens again. We're finally at that row of pines, and it just looks, especially in the sunlight, it looks so cool. So I'm gonna turn the video off for a second and we're gonna take a few photos. So honestly, 10 millimeters is the widest I've ever shot with anything before. It feels so much weirder. There's definitely a lot of room for creativity with like really playing around with that distortion from how wide this lens is. And especially for something like this fern you see right here in this photo, because how wide it is, you can get some really cool looking like distortion with those objects that you can't really get with a tighter lens like a 24 or 35 millimeter lens. Also, if you're using this for more of like a creative portrait lens, like granted, you're not gonna wanna take an entire photo shoot on this guy, but throwing in one or two very creative, like bubbly, you're in the center and this big environment around you, like this photo you see right here, it's got some potential with that. A more detailed analysis about all the technical specs and what you can use this for photography wise. That video is coming not next week, but the following week. So keep an eye out for that. Subscribe to my channel if that's something you want to watch. For the purpose of this video and what I think about vlogging with it, it feels very natural. Not having to extend my arm out all the way to get my face within the screen, and you're still getting a lot of the environment, even when I'm like tucking my arms into a more comfortable, sort of relaxed vlog stance. And this is gonna help you shoot longer, capture more of your environment, and it's honestly a pretty good vlogging solution for you. Thanks for coming along with me on this little hike at Francis Oakham. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video.